Hey, good evening. Kathy Beatty here with Divorce Support Anonymous. Thank you for joining me this evening. I am here to jump into your life for just a short time to give you encouragement, direction, and hope. That's my goal, and to minimize the damage that occurs as you go through divorce. That's pretty much my motto and what I'm after. I want to speak to you tonight on a topic that's really necessary, and my cursor's not working, so we'll jump over here that way. Okay, so now we're good. So, excited to talk to you tonight about finding peace after divorce. And for those of you who are in the middle of it and sorting everything out, save this video because you can refer to it in the future. But if you are in the middle of it, I know that peace is probably eluding you. I hope you have moments of peace, and that typically comes when you are getting support from other people, such as a therapist, a pastor, a group, a divorce coach. That's when you're going to find moments of peace and those moments of light where you don't feel like you're stuck in all of the darkness. So, as always, oh my silly, there we go. Okay, as always, ask your questions, make comments. I love to have a conversation with you and to have questions. So tonight I'm going to talk about finding peace after divorce. How do we do that? And we do that with 3 different areas I'm going to talk about tonight. That is the voices, vulnerability, and vision. Might not make a whole lot of sense at this moment, but I think it will as we go through. So first of all, to find peace after divorce, we have to listen to what are the voices that we are listening to? Whose voices are we listening to? Who are you listening to? Are they voices that are positive? Are they voices that are encouraging? Are they voices that are strong? Or are they voices that are of the past? Are they critical voices? Is it still resonating in your head, the voices and the words that were spoken from your former spouse? That were hurtful and harmful. So, who are you listening to? Who are you listening to right now? Is it friends? That can be a good thing if they're knowledgeable friends and can be helpful. Are you listening to scriptures? Are you listening to encouraging and uplifting music? Who are you listening to? Who are those voices? Whose voices? What are you telling yourself? The voice that's in our head is going to be the most important voice that we are listening to. What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself lies? Are you telling yourself good words, hope? Are you empowering yourself by how you're thinking? Or are you living as a victim? What are you telling yourself? Are you saying you can't, you never will, you can't make it, you're a victim? If only this hadn't happened to you? Or are you listening to the voice in your head that says, what's out there? What's next? What do I want to do? Am I curious about who I can become and what the future is for me? Am I thinking and speaking to myself the dreams and goals that I might have for this second chapter of life? Am I curious? Am I thinking with curiosity, what now? Where do I want to go? What do I want to change? What no longer fits in my life? Really important questions for us. Are we thinking of good thoughts of self-awareness, of thinking about here's what I need to do, here's where I need to go, this is what I need to be listening to and need to be how I can help myself? Do I have good self-awareness? Do I have good God awareness? Am I aware of the voice of God and what it has to teach me right now? One of my favorite and my life verse, God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power and love and of a sound mind. There's so many opportunities for us to say that to ourselves. Also, whatever's noble, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things. That verse right there can shift our mindset from negativity to thinking what's noble, what's right, what's pure. Those are the things that I need to be thinking on. So, what are those voices that you are listening to? Whose voices? What are the voices in your head? So very important. So very important. So, number one, if we want peace after divorce, we're going to have to be listening to the right voices that speak into our life, words of hope, words of encouragement, words of direction. So, not only voices, what about vulnerability? Valiant vulnerability, I put here. Now, you may wonder, what's that mean? It really means, do I have the courage to be real, to be authentic with myself? Can I be determined to be vulnerable so I can discover all the things that I need to heal, to change? I have to get in a spot where I can tell my story, where I can open up and be real with someone, so I can discover what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and where those changes need to take place. I need to be seen. I need to find the places of turmoil that need healing. I need to be brave enough to know what's going on in my mind and heart. For many of us, we have stuffed things for far too long. And quite honest, we're a little bit afraid to open up that Pandora's box and see what's inside, for fear that it's too much, or it can't change, or we'll feel incredible shame. And yet we have given it way too much power if we stuff it and we don't deal with it and put it out there. We have to be brave enough to take the risk, to be known, to identify those feelings, what's going on in our mind and head and heart. We have to be brave enough to do that, to be vulnerable, to find out. And I know for many of us, that's not easy to do. It's so much easier to put this facade on, or to pretend, or to act, or live by other people's expectations. And then we get nowhere to finding our authenticity. We have to take the risk, to be brave enough, to be courageous and determined, to be vulnerable, to find those places where God can enter into and he can make changes in. Do not copy behavior of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way that you think. Then you will learn and know what God's will is for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. And that's Romans 12:2. Let God transform you. When God transforms you, you find peace. You find identity. You shed the shame, which he never wants us to have. In fact, he states, Jesus, referring to the he, was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him. The punishment that brought us peace. So the true way to find the peace that we are searching for, it's not just an emotional and a mental, it's also a spiritual peace that we are searching for, and it is priceless. The punishment that brought us peace was on him. So once we put that shame and punishment upon Christ, we can find that peace that he longs for us to have. You know, I found this verse, which I really love, about being in front of God and being vulnerable. And it's out of Psalms. In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and I wait expectantly. There's an incredible faith there and a vulnerability and a trust in which we can find our peace. Thirdly, and lastly, is vision. If we want peace in our future, if we want peace in our life, we have to have a vision for what direction our life is going to go. We need to have a plan. We need to have a goal. We need to have our dreams. We need to let go of the past, leverage it, and launch from it instead of being stuck in it. So we have to have a vision. We have to see something that we want in our future. We have to envision and think about, what do I want in my future? What do I want my life to be like? What are the risks that I need to take to create this new future and this peace that I want in my life? It is not coming to you without intention, I promise you. The people that I know that have truly healed successfully from divorce have done it intentionally, with doing their inner work, by having that vision, by becoming vulnerable. And quite honestly, I know a lot of very strong women and a lot of very strong men who have taken the risk of being vulnerable to achieve their vision, realizing they've got to get healed before they can see that vision and they can move forward. We have to also step into that vision. We have to take the risk. We have to have the faith to step into that vision. And we have to let go of the many things that are cluttering our life and our mind right now. We have to be able to declutter that and to focus. Stephanie, the shame I felt during my divorce was overwhelming. Yeah, isn't it though? Isn't it though? But the peace of God ruled and reigned over my heart and set me free. Absolutely, it has the power to do that. Can any of us reach that true peace? I'm not talking about something fake that comes with other relationships or having secured our own material life or financial life. I'm talking about the peace that's inside the depth of us. And Stephanie, that's what you're talking about. The peace of God ruled and reigned over my heart and set me free. That is the only way in which we are going to find the ultimate peace. I love that comment. Thank you so much. A couple other scriptures, and I give you these scriptures because this is truth. And when you read it and you think, oh, that's nice, I kind of like how that sounds. No, this is truth that you anchor yourself in. And how many times have I anchored myself in this verse? Very often, because I have had fear. I have had shyness. I have had times when I did not feel like I had power or love or, quite frankly, a sound mind because of things and thoughts that were going on in my head. Those are truths that are solid and you can bet your life on. A few other scriptures that are really good and really solid. I've said these things to you. Jesus said this, that in me you will have peace. In the world, you're going to have trouble. You can count on it. This divorce was maybe your first illustration of the trouble that you could have, the major trouble that you can have. But take heart. Take heart. Be encouraged. Jesus said, I've overcome the world. So put your hope in me. I will give you peace, that you may have peace. Similar verse, and still in John. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not what the world gives to you. Let not your heart be troubled. Don't be afraid. And the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your mind and hearts in Christ Jesus. All understanding. You'll be in the middle of turmoil. And yes, it's turmoil, but you still have that anchor of God's word to hold on to. In peace I lay down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. I love those verses. So if you want to find peace after your divorce, it's going to take intention. You're going to have to do an inventory. What are those voices that I'm listening to? Are they healthy voices that are going to help me to grow? And what voices do I need to step back from, maybe even eliminate, that I have been listening to in the past? And what is the voice in my head telling me? What am I saying to myself? Is that healthy? Or am I just keeping myself stuck and small and a victim? Vulnerability. You cannot find peace until you resolve the issues that are within your heart and your mind. That requires that you are vulnerable in which to find it. Don't be vulnerable with anyone. You find safe people. That could be in a support group. That could be with a therapist or a pastor or a counselor, whoever. But there has to be a place where you put all your crap out on the table and you take an honest look at it. It's better out on the table than it is stuck in your heart. And you are honest with yourself. Honest with yourself. That's how you heal. That's how you find peace. And then you have to find that vision. You have to get that vision in which you are focused and you know where you're moving toward. Where you're moving toward and who you are moving toward. And it's my prayer, certainly, that you are moving toward the God of peace, the God who offers you peace, who says, come to me. I'll give you peace that you have never known, not peace like the world gives, which is so temporary and so shallow. I will give you peace so deep within your soul that you have it to hang on to no matter the storms and the turmoil that come. It's life-changing peace. And God offers that to you. So if I can be of help and there are questions or comments you'd like to speak with me on, I'd be more than happy. In fact, I would be privileged and honored to have a conversation with you. I meet with people all the time. The first hour has no cost whatsoever. If you want to hire me as a divorce coach, I do that as well. I'm also a domestic mediator. And I can help you through this process. But I also can help you finding the peace, and there are resources certainly on my website, divorcesupportanonymous.com, where I help you do that. So thank you for the privilege of spending the time with me this evening. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through the trauma of divorce and after. Have a good evening.